Everybody, how you doing here? I should say good afternoon because we're just like a minute before the noon hour here. I was flipping the camera around there. You probably saw my face there. Hey, look, we got the Wrigley building. We're back in Chicago. We got September the 29th, 2025, Manic Monday here. So hey, we'll go check out the Hazel Johnson mural to environmental justice in the city. The fountain's on for the Prudential there. Jose, how you doing there? Krista, thanks for tuning in here, everybody. Thanks. Welcome to YouTube. Yeah, if you want to change the resolution, I think you can up the resolution there somehow on the app there. And here, Nando's Nutellas. Yeah, Ernie, I saw last week on Thursday. I was coming back from Wilmington there in North Carolina, and Ernie went by the Rainbow Cone and the Cinnabon, and they were open there. So here they got the windows open for Nando's there on the second floor. Here's the Nutella. We're at Lake in Michigan here. We have a beautiful 80-degree sunshine filled day here so far. John, how you doing there? Scott G. Yeah, Michael Anderson. Yeah, did you see Ernie went by here last week? So let's see if they got the Rainbow Cone and the Cinnabon open airs, people jogging. Yeah, they got the balloons up, so I guess they're doing the grand opening. Isn't it amazing? It took them all summer to open this. I guess better late than never. Chatal, how you doing there? Yeah, Angie Love there. Hey, thanks everybody there. Bernie Sam there. Naya Papaya, how you doing there? Yeah, so we got Garrett's Popcorn. Here we are, Michigan Avenue. We'll head down to the Bean here. But hey, it's good to be back. Get back on a regular schedule here. Yeah, let's check out the balloons here. Auntie Anne Cinnabon. Ernie saw this. They were training people. You can look right in the window there. Auntie Anne's Cinnabon Rainbow Cone. Let's see what this looks like here. Let's just take a peek. I'm not going to spend too much time in here. But hey, it smells great here. Cinnabon. Yeah, you can go right over here. Look at there. You got connected to here. Oh, good. Head out of here. People are trying to figure out what I'm doing here, filming Rainbow Cone. We're just trying to show the new restaurants open here. Auntie Anne's Rainbow Cone there. So let's go check out the Bean. Won't have many times to walk past that. I think I missed the light. Oh, I might be able to make it across here. Let's see. Let's try to get across here. We got 10 seconds. Yeah, we're going. Gotta make it across here. 2 seconds. See, I didn't want to wait for the light here. Hey, we made it. Yeah, Sugar Row, that's what we'll call that. Say, we just crossed Randolph. Millennium Park. But hey, what beautiful weather we're having there. There's a Pittsfield building there. Facts. Sugar Row. And Maine, how you doing there? Rise and shine with WBEZ. There you go. Radio station. Hey, Michigan Avenue. Let's check out the Bean here. Thanks for tuning in YouTube there. Yeah, lunch break. Hey, the fountain's on. Hey, it's good to be back. Getting some work done there. A few people in the office today. Hey, he's got a nice tripod there. Sheridan, yeah, Wes, how you doing there? Dolores? Yeah, Wes. Dolores, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, we're back. Thanks for letting me have a week to work there. I know it's always bothersome for everybody. They're like, why aren't you streaming? Hey, they're playing the ball game there. So I guess they probably got Oktoberfest set up here in the ice skating portion there. Hey, they're filming them. They're playing the game there. We'll head up to the Bean. Thanks for missing me, Dolores. I missed you too. See, you know, so when I'm traveling for work, I do want to stream more often. It's just, it's hard with my work schedule there and running around and driving. And so we still got a nice stream in there last week in Wilmington. Went to the Atlantic Ocean there. I'm glad those hurricanes are staying off to the side. And so far, we've been pretty fortunate with the hurricanes, less except for the Pacific. There's been more, seems for some reason, the Pacific here. Here, look at the begonias here. The flowers are looking nice. They got it set up for Oktoberfest. We'll check it out when we head up to the Bean here. So I checked the calendar for Daily Plaza. It looks like they got a DJ today, but there's usually not much going on there when there's a DJ. Joe, how you doing there? Jojo, yeah. Pete, how you doing there? Yeah, Mikanori, getting the whole gang back together here. 97 people tuning in for the lunch bunch. Good. Hey, let's check out the Bean. We haven't seen the Bean in over a week. I think we saw it last Friday, maybe last Thursday. I think we went by in the morning. So I'm debating whether to work from home tomorrow. If I work from home tomorrow, we might be able to sneak up to Wrigley Field at lunchtime before the first game of the postseason begins there. The Cubs play the Padres. It smells like fresh potting soil here. They must have put some potting soil in these plants here. Casa Bonita's looking nice. But hey, there's the Great Bean of Chicago. Yeah, the Cubs have a homestand to start the playoffs against the Padres, San Diego Padres, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I think all three of those games are 2 in the afternoon. So got some afternoon games coming up here at Wrigley Field. So here's the Great Bean of Chicago. You missed it, see? Thanks for tuning in there. Mitch. Yeah. Canadian for now. That's okay. Yeah, go Cubs there. Yeah, Harold Washington. Yeah. That's great. Hey, they're posing for the picture there. Harold Washington College and yeah. Yeah, took the nice group shot there under the Bean. Yeah. What a beautiful day. 80 degrees, bright sunshine. We got students out here. Yeah, there's the Great Bean of Chicago. Yeah. Baba Bean, Baba Boom, Baba Booey. Yeah, Chris is tuning in. That's great. Yeah. See, we got the whole band back together here. Thanks for coming back here after a week of travels here. But hey, beautiful sunshine. The weather forecast for this entire week is pretty nice. I see sunshine, upper 70s, low 80s like today. There's the Oktoberfest there. I thought they had some Oktoberfest going on at Wrigley too. I didn't get up there. I missed Milwaukee Avenue, had the street closed down to portions of Milwaukee Avenue there in Wicker Park were closed down to vehicular traffic. Sundays, the last Sunday of the month, they've been doing that. I didn't get over there because I was pretty lazy. But hey, we're back now. So hey, let's head through the loop here. We'll leave the Bean of Chicago. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up there if you like this content. Helps other people find it here. We'll head through the loop here Monday. And the Crown Fountain sounds like it's still on. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, Ernie's tuning in there. Thanks, Ernie. How you doing there? Yeah, check out Ernie Chicago Nuggies, fellow Chicago live streamer there on TikTok and YouTube. Here's the doghouse. Yeah, Christopher Dotson's tuning in. Yeah, watch Christopher Dotson there. Same thing, New York City, mainly on YouTube, but I think you still have a presence there on TikTok there, Christopher Dotson. That's great. Yeah, there's all kinds of things going on in New York City. I saw the news that Eric Adams is not gonna, he's dropping out of the mayoral race, so it's down to Cuomo and the new upstart. And we'll pay attention to that. And there, look at the Crown Fountain over here. So I'm gonna skip the Crown Fountain because I get tired of waiting around for the water to spit out of the faces there. We'll just head straight into the loop here. We got so many reruns. Yeah, the students are heading over there. Nelios, how you doing there? Joe Novak, yeah. Unruly Julie Reed there. Maria, you're almost there. Yeah, look at the beautiful blue skies here. Crown Fountain here. Millennium Park. Well, since we missed the light, there's the green line. And we're gonna go underneath Wabash here. We'll eventually get there. There's the Montgomery Wards there. I'll try to catch the fountain here really quickly, and then we'll run across the street. I just missed the light, so that's why. If the light hadn't just changed, I would have just headed across the street there, but we'll try to catch this spitting out water here a little bit. Maybe we'll get lucky here. Crown Fountain here, part of Millennium Park. There's the Chicago Athletic Association, the Willoughby Tower. This beautiful architecture here on Michigan Avenue. Yeah, I'm not going to wait around for this. It always takes so long. I'd rather show the Chicago Athletic Association and Willoughby Tower here. We'll show these old haberdasheries here. There's the old athletic club. They converted it to a hotel. There's the old hat makers, the old the Gage group of buildings there. Louis Sullivan. Here's the Willoughby Tower. The same thing. Haberdasheries. There was a hat company in this building. Can you believe it? And here we'll cross the street here in Michigan, and is this Madison? Yeah, we got to cross over on this side here. There's no crosswalk on this side, so here we'll zoom into the Wrigley Building, and so you can see where the parking garage is underneath. Grant Park North parking entrance there. You can get to parking underneath the beam there, Millennium Park. This is Michigan Avenue. Looking north here. So here, let's head right through the loop here. Hey, Raising Cane's there. Yeah, lively crowd. I'm still kind of sluggish today. Pete, how you doing there? Christy, yeah, thanks for tuning in there. Hey, Nima, Chicago misses you here. Yeah, so, yeah, I think we're on Madison Street here. By the Royo Sushi. But hey, how about the Bears? They're eking out a victory against the Las Vegas Raiders. Still want to say Oakland Raiders. I'm old enough to remember when the Raiders played in LA. Kind of all over the place there. There's Paisanos. There's the cantina here. And we got the big bus station here. We'll go past the Jewelers Row here. Wabash. Yeah, Bumblebee, thanks for letting us know you're bigoted there. Thanks for telegraphing it there. At least you let us know. Different strokes for different folks. This is not a promotion. Like you know, if you don't like Chicago, stay away. That's fine with me. You know, I happen to live here, and I'm sure people could bash wherever you live, but we choose not to do it because you know why? We realize the world is more complex than that. Hey, people are trying to figure out who I'm talking to here. Hey, we used to social media dumbing everything down, making everything into these little gotcha statements here. So here, let's head over to State Street. We'll go by the Carson Prairie Scott here. Here's the drain pulling out, and yeah, we'll show them. There it is. There's the cast iron, wrought iron detailing of Louis Sullivan there, holding court here. This is, so you look at all the loading docks here, big commercial buildings along State Street. Of course, the Carson Prairie Scott now is the Gothic Target. So here, there's the Chicago building, a vintage skyscraper. And then this is Carson Prairie Scott, Louis Sullivan's work there. This bus is blocking it there. You can see it there. Look at that amazing detailing there. There's the entrance there. There's positive, negatives, everything. Everybody wants to compare everything to everything else. There's things that New York is much bigger and better than Chicago, of course. Bigger city, more important in the world, but Chicago has some things that New York City doesn't. Vice versa. Here's State Street here. So here, let's go look at this beautiful cast iron, wrought iron detailing here of the Carson Prairie Scott here. We show it all the time here. We'll show his initials here. The Gothic Target, that's what they nicknamed this, of course, because the beautiful, there you can see is, you see it multiple times. Louis H. Sullivan, LHS. You see his initials in the cast iron, wrought iron here. And here, let's cross the street here. Oops. You got the Chicago's windows, more windows than wall, and it really opens it up. Great for window shopping and smash and grabs. See, they didn't anticipate that. There's State Street. There's State Street looking south. There's State Street looking north. Yeah, let's just head up this way here. What time we got here? Let's walk up towards the Chicago Theater. Yeah, the request line. Somebody's requesting me to go someplace. Yeah. We might see the bridge lift on Wednesday. Wednesday might be the first day where they lift the Basque bridges for the sailboats. And usually it's springtime. We're more enthusiastic about it because it means we got the whole summer ahead of us. This time of year it means it's the end of the boating season, but that's why people wait usually till later October to get their boats out of there. Yeah, we got a lot of varied architecture, different, older stuff mixed with the newer stuff. That's what makes cities interesting. You got a mix of older architecture with newer architecture, different architectural styles, and how things changed over time. That's what a lot of times we talk about, how neighborhoods change over time, including the Loop. The Loop is more residential now than it used to be. It used to be more commercial. More people than ever are living in the Loop, but it's very expensive, which you would have dreamed that. In the 1970s, hardly anyone wanted to live in the Loop, and now people are willing to pay a lot of money to live in the Loop. Yeah, it's a beautiful afternoon there. Sears Tower. I could show you the Sears Tower. We could see what it looks like from a distance. A lot of times we go to the bottom of the Sears Tower. Well, I'm sure we'll get by there later in the week. I understand why people want to see the Sears Tower, the tallest building in Chicago. We went by the John Hancock this morning. What time we got here? 12:16. And yeah, I'll start heading. I was going to go up by the Chicago Theater, but we'll head a little further west. We'll cross the street here, and we'll show you the Sears Tower from a distance. And
me.
So there's the pink line heading across the elevated track there. Yeah, let's head this way. So this is the Reliance building. Another early vintage skyscraper. More glass than wall, steel frame construction. I think it goes back to the 1890s or around the turn of the century. We got this food hall here. It's on Washington Street. We'll head by the Daily Plaza here. We'll just see what's going on at Daily Plaza.
Why is it not being able to be taken out?
Yeah, double tap the screen there if you like the screen there. You know, you just give the thumbs up there. It helps more people find this content. You don't have to tap the screen like TikTok with the constantly tapping the screen there. The gamification of social media. We're used to that. Yeah, I was looking for the Border Patrol people. I know what you mean, because yesterday I saw on the news, I was laying on the couch there. There was a bunch of armed military style people. I guess they assume they were ICE. They were all over Michigan Avenue and Riverwalk. We walked this morning. This is live. You know, I just checked the time there at 12:15 here, Central Time Zone, Chicago. We got September the 29th, 2025. I don't see what I saw on the TV, and I was looking for it because, you know, and I guess they did kidnap some people. It's strange how I have to talk about this. Here's Daily Plaza here. Here's the Picasso, and we got a DJ, and they usually have live music. Later in the week, they'll have the farmers market on Thursday, and they'll have the food trucks on Friday. Here's City Hall. There's the Picasso. There's the Daily Center there. And yeah, they got a DJ with some chairs set up. I'll probably get a copyright strike, but that's okay. Playing recorded music here. Daily Plaza, Chicago. There's Channel 2 News. So it's amazing they put up they put up railings for the fountain and for the Picasso, but then they took them down. So right here, City Hall. Yeah, let's go walk by the Thompson Center here. Let's check the Thompson Center construction. Let's see how much progress they made in a week that we were gone out of town there. There's the First United Methodist Church there. There's Daily Plaza, Chicago, Illinois. Thanks for tuning in. We got 80 degrees here. It's a pretty nice day. We got the light. So, yeah, we can walk right through the middle of City Hall. Let's do this. We'll cross the street. We'll walk right through the middle of City Hall. This guy's always standing here doing his First Amendment free speech rights here. Clark Street and Washington. You were in Chicago, it was March. Hey, Brad. Yeah, thanks for tuning in there. Windy City. Yeah, it does get windy, especially in March. I think March is probably a pretty windy month there, yeah. But March is nice if you can hit when they dye the river green there for St. Patrick's Day. We're almost to the South Street here. We'll cross the South Street. We're heading back towards the Riverwalk. We'll go through City Hall here, the county, and the one side of this is county. So Cook County, the other side is City Hall. Hey, look at the size of these doors. So Chicago City Hall. We'll walk right under the bottom here. So to me, this is a hybrid of styles. It's kind of inside of a Gothic arts kind of city, beautiful Beaux-Arts kind of with the curving here, neoclassical flourishes here. This is the City Hall here in Chicago. Here. So you can walk out that way, that heads right back to Daily Plaza. You can go that way, goes to the South Street. We're in Chicago, we're in the City Hall here. We're going to pop out on Randolph Street, we'll show the Thompson Center construction, which is the new Google. And then we'll head over to the Riverwalk, see what's shaking on the Riverwalk. We already checked out the bean there. And we'll head back outside there. Yeah, beautiful architecture. Christopher, the inside of the City Hall, isn't this nice? Of course, you can see it from the Blues Brothers movie that they go in there. See, they got Cook County Treasurer. So here's the new Google here at the Thompson Center. See how they're putting that glass curtain wall on there? They're making pretty good progress. So look at that. They're coming around the front here. Thompson Center used to be the State of Illinois building. There's the Cadillac Palace Theater with the train going across there. Hey, Google's renovating. Okay, so we'll cross LaSalle Street. I think I'm gonna miss the light here, so. Yeah, while you were sleeping in the lake house there. Yeah, thanks for pointing out some good Chicago movies. We got so many. Here's LaSalle Street there. There's that view to the Board of Trade there. Look at that. Yeah, it's Harry statue on top here. There's that Icarus. Hey, Randolph and LaSalle. Hey, Ernie, how you doing? What's up, man?
I was right behind you, and I was trying to find you.
Oh, I was zigging and zagging. I didn't realize that because I went through City Hall.
I went through City Hall, and I went this way.
Is there like a lag time?
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Right now. Real quick, can I tell you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was detained by ICE earlier. That's what.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
With all those, really? Is that what happened?
On Saturday, that's what happened, and Michael, I think Michael knows, but I told Chris, Jennifer, and everybody.
They're just profiling people, right?
Yeah, they did that to me on Saturday when I was coming down here to do the protest. Answering the protest at Daily Plaza. So.
See, people have been asking me because I saw on the news they were doing that overwhelming show of force there yesterday.
Yeah, they were doing that.
And I don't see nothing today.
They're probably in the neighborhoods today.
Yeah. So what did they put you in the back of the car?
They actually just grabbed me by the shoulder and they slammed me on the hood and they just cuffed me and they took out their taser and they pointed in my ribs.
And you were just walking, and you're a U.S. citizen.
I couldn't hear them.
And it's just like someone's abducting you.
Yeah.
See, that's what's so bad about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's just something that I get used to because I'm brown. So But
it shouldn't be that way,
yeah.
And it shows you they are profiling people. And that's why we're against mass people just throwing people in the bag. So how long did they detain you?
I was detained for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Because I had my social security card and they didn't care about my ID. They just wanted a social security card or your birth certificate.
So you got to carry the social security. The driver's license does nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't do nothing. Even the real ID, they just told me they don't care about that. They just want the social or your birth certificate, something that proves that you're here legally. And
then they let you go. And no apology or nothing.
No apology.
See, that's what's so
Yeah. I sent you the message, everything will happen, but that's on TikTok if you want to read it.
I got caught up with work. I did. Thanks for sending. I'll look through that. Thanks for letting us know. We'll let people know.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get some food right now because I'm hungry. I just got out of work.
Good.
But I'll see you, Brian.
I'll see you. Thanks very much. Hope that doesn't happen again. Oh, did you hear that, Ernie? Chicago Nuckies. We know Ernie and Michael. He says you know about it. He said he was detained by ICE on Saturday, and they checked. They made sure they asked for his social security number. If he didn't have his birth certificate or social security, his ID or nothing, and Ernie is as American as you can get, and that's what I know he sent me a message and I didn't read it because I'm not reading everything on TikTok now because I'm moving to YouTube, and I'm glad he did that. Ernie was trying to let me know, so we got that, and that makes me angry that Ernie, he was just live streaming, walking around, and that's what, would they have detained me instead of Ernie if I was walking there? Are they profiling people? And he said he's used to it, but he shouldn't be used to it. And You hear that, Wes? Yeah, Dolores, Michael. Yeah, so we'll talk more about that. I'll read his message. And I know he told me he sent me a message, and he's got my cell number, and I'm glad he let us know. And so now I'm going to be really vicious if anybody makes light of ICE being in Chicago, because we got fellow U.S. citizens, Americans, our fellow friends and neighbors here in Chicago that we live stream being detained, fellow Chicago live streamers being detained by ICE simply because they look like a profile. And we knew this was going to happen, that they're just using it to intimidate and profile people, you know, and whatever, you know, even if your stated goal is to get undocumented migrants off the street, you don't hassle American citizens to do it. And, you know, I'm going to stick with that. Here, if you just tune in here, we're in Chicago. We're walking around the loop. We talked to Ernie there, and we're waiting to cross the street here. We're at Randolph and Wells here. We'll get you a view to the Sears Tower here. Ireland, how you doing there, Neelis? Thanks for tuning in. See what we got to deal with in America? I know they're trying to. I saw we had an NFL football game in Ireland there. Maybe you saw that, and they're trying to expand American culture and commerce to Ireland there, but there's things about American culture that we're starting to question here when we got the Gestapo running around Chicago, rounding up people, including people we know. But hey, last Sunday, yeah, that's good. Christopher, well, we know what's going on. We'll hunker down. We'll support each other. We're not alone. You know, they're going to try to marginalize and isolate. Feels like we're all isolated. This overwhelming. But the longer this goes on, more people will resist. And we'll see how it plays out here. I'm glad Ernie's okay. And that had to be scary. He said he didn't even see him coming. And they slammed him up against the car. Here's Franklin Street. This is Franklin Street in Randolph. We're in the loop of Chicago. We're going to head over to the Riverwalk. There's the Sears Tower. So there, hopefully the person that wanted to see the Sears Tower, there's the Sears Tower. We're not underneath it. We're a few blocks north of it, but there's the full height of the 1,400, over 400 meters tall. The Sears Tower, you can call it the Willis Tower too. I usually call it Sears, the historical name. Sears was the name of the company that built it. Most Chicagoans of a certain age call it that. There's the train, there's Merchandise Mart, there's Franklin Street looking north. Oh, was Michael sick there? Well, feel better there. I missed a bunch of comments there when I was talking to you there. I'm glad we ran into Ernie there. So the Beatrix Market. There, 155 North Wackerd. There, let's walk underneath here. It's Taco tuning in. Taco jalapeno salsa. So Taco, I don't know if you saw that. We just ran into Ernie Chicago Nuggies. He got detained by ICE on Saturday, and he said they slammed him up against the car. They detained him for 5 minutes. Once he showed him his Social Security and birth certificate, they let him go, and they didn't even apologize. And you don't think they're not harassing U.S. citizens? They are, and that's proof of it right there. Ernie's such a nice guy, and we'll see if we encounter any more. I saw him on the news there yesterday. I haven't seen any this morning, and we'll be sure to let people know if we run across them so they can avoid it. We'll be like the Fuzzbuster here. But here's Wacker Drive and 155 North Wacker here. This is Randolph Street, loop of Chicago. We'll head over to the Riverwalk here. We got a beautiful 80-degree day, and did you see that? But I'm glad Ernie's okay, and I'm glad he let us know, and he's telling his story, and that's how we're going to get people to change when they realize that normal U.S. citizens just walking down the street are getting harassed by other U.S. citizens. And if we wouldn't let the police treat people that way, why should we let ICE treat people that way? And especially when they won't, you know, I'll show my face. You know, people are always like, show my face. They're so worried about what they're doing, you know. Are they ashamed of what they're doing? That's why they won't show their face. They're ashamed of what they're doing. You think they'd be proud of what they're doing. Here's, hey, here we'll cross the South Branch, Chicago River. So you see Lake Street there? They say they're going to close down that bridge, so let's go over there. We'll walk across it. Here's the South Branch, the Chicago River. Let's see what time we got here. 12:33 Chicago time. Yeah, we'll just walk back along the Riverwalk here and see what's shaking along the Riverwalk. Yeah, great view. I don't know why somebody likes ice. There you go. So different strokes for different folks. There, we lit your opinion there. Somebody likes ice. Did you like the fact that a U.S. citizen got harassed by ICE? You like that? Okay. What if it happens to you? You know, would you think differently if you got detained? I guess you'd be like, well, I proved my U.S. citizenship. I have nothing to fear. But what if they expand it to something else? You know, that's what the brown shirts were in other times. Hey, we got a painter here. Hey, look at a beautiful river view here. Yeah, nice scene here. Very nice. Look at the there goes the bright star. Yeah, tomorrow Padres versus the Cubs. So I may attempt to work from home tomorrow, so maybe at lunchtime this time tomorrow we might be able to walk up to Wrigleyville, and before the game, even though the game doesn't start till 2, there still should be lunchtime, people starting to get ready for the game there, feed off the excitement of the crowd there. And yeah, I think Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday the Cubs play the Padres there at Wrigley Field to start the 5-game wild card series there for the MLB playoffs. And the Bears eked out a win yesterday against the Raiders. There's people down on the Riverwalk there. There's the Beatnik Cafe over there. Yeah, are people profiling us here? Michael. But see, I heard the Lake Street Bridge, I think beginning in October, they're going to close this bridge down. And just like the State Street Bridge, they're going to, for years, they're going to be working on it, re-welding it. I'm sure they got to keep the pink line and the green line still across this, so they got to keep the train lines running. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to close it to both pedestrian and vehicular traffic. And they already did. They already have. So I'm going to have to cross back to the other side because I didn't realize they got this side closed. So here we'll check out the confluence and we'll cross. They already started the pedestrian closures here. There's the train line heading across there. There's the merchandise mart, the water taxi, the confluence. And here, let's head back around here so we can cross. Yeah, see, they got a barge there. Let's go check out that barge. Let's see if we can get down there. They're going to get ready to work on the underneath of the Lake Street Bridge here. Underneath there, we got the light there. So yeah, they're going to see, they already shut down the pedestrian side on the north side of the Lake Street Bridge here. Lake Street, underneath the green and pink lines here. We'll head over this way. You can still walk here, but eventually, I think next week they're going to shut down both sides, from what I understand. We'll see if they shut down both sides or keep one open. Yeah, where's Pizza Lisa there? She probably gave up on us since I wasn't streaming last week. She's got her own stuff, that's fine. She'll come back, and that's fine. So here, Lake Street. Here's the South Branch. Train here. Big line. Hey, what a nice day to be out on a pontoon boat heading down the river there. Yeah. Hey, that's a nice dog here. Leah Liz. Yeah, it's sunny out, Matt. Ernie, thanks for swinging by there. Yeah, sorry, I didn't check my TikTok messages. That was an important message there. I know you told me, and thanks for letting us know. We're happy you're all right, and sorry you had to go through that. It was such a strange times we're living in here. Here, let's cross the street here. Lake Street, underneath the L tracks here. So the sidewalk's closed, but you can still get down to the Riverwalk this way. Oops, what? Oh, sorry. And there's Chicago Riverwalk. Yeah, we'll head down the stairs here. So they got a barge here, and they're probably preparing for their, yeah, look, they got the booms and stuff. They're going to start working underneath this bridge here, Lake Street here. Yeah, look at that under the bridge house here. Yeah, look at all this nice power tools here. These over the water, it's very nice. So here we'll head around here, everybody in the deck chairs here. Kenneth, how you doing there? Yeah, we're not safe. They're rounded up U.S. citizens, and that's I told people this would happen, and that's why I have no mercy for people being glib about this in the comments, because you know ICE is rounding up people I know, people that are U.S. citizens that are friends of ours in Chicago, and that's not the intention to intimidate U.S. citizens, you know, based upon how they look. And it shows you elections have consequences. People kind of laugh. People didn't even vote in this election. They were like, "Oh, how bad could it be?" We don't even know how bad it could get. And yeah, you might be happy that your stock market, your 401k is doing fine, your tax bill's lower. Is it worth it? Is it worth it for America to lose their soul and our constitutional republic, the separation of powers? Too much power is being, this is my opinion, you can have opinion different than mine, but this is my channel. Too much power is being concentrated in the executive branch. I don't, if you might be okay with the candidate that has it, but what if it's a different candidate? What if it's a socialist candidate? You wouldn't like it, you know? And here's the pink line. And don't think that because a current administration is punishing their political enemies, think the one that comes after it cannot punish the ones that, just like what happened to January 6th. And it could happen again, where, you know, the administration changes and the way law enforcement treats you changes too. Here, welcome to Chicago. Welcome to the Riverwalk. this has been building for a long time because both presidents on the left and the right have been far too long been using the executive power for executive orders that get overturned every 4 years, and it just bounces back and forth because, namely, it's because Congress, it's so hard to get anything done through Congress, so Congress is derelict in their duty. And we'll see. We'll see if there's any news about the government shutdown once I get off of here. It might have changed already. It's how fast news changes. I know there's meetings today. So far, the stock market doesn't seem to care or even act like anything bad's happening. And it shows you the billionaires don't need us. Even if the government shuts down, do the billionaires need the government? They already bought and own it, so they're not worried. A lot of people that work for federal prisons, that work for the federal government, are not going to get paid. And they have to take out loans so their kids have food on the table. And you can blame one side or the other. It's the dysfunction of our entire government that we're constantly in this situation over and over again. So here's the Chicago Riverwalk. What a beautiful day here. Welcome to Chicago here. Yeah. That's where they do the art on the Mart here. Project up here. Yeah, thanks for the good message there, Christopher. Yeah, we should all admonish each other to, if you don't turn on the politics, politics will turn on you. I know it's hard and depressing, and so often people are like, don't talk about politics. Sometimes by not talking about it, it makes it even worse, because then you're acting like things are normal when they're not. And I don't think things are ever normal, but you know what I mean. Got to talk about current events, just like the weather. We got to talk about it. Here's the Brown Line heading across here. We're by the Merchandise Mart here. Chicago Riverwalk. Here's Wells Street. Yeah, great advice, Christopher. Thanks, Helios, and everybody else there. Even the areas that you would call the bad side of Chicago are still the good side of Chicago, because there's good people that live even in the bad part of Chicago. They might be poor. That doesn't mean they're bad people. Just because certain areas of the city are impoverished doesn't mean it's bad. And I grew up near trailer parks in the country, so I can identify with poverty here. They're cleaning up the river there. Look at that. There's a kayak here. Chicago Riverwalk. Most central business districts have a very expensive buildings and housing. I don't care what city you're in. Bigger city you go, New York, Chicago, Manhattan, certainly very expensive. Loop of Chicago, it's always been expensive. Now that more people are living West Loop, South Loop, in the Loop, River North, Streeterville. Just because I'm here, I have a job here, doesn't mean I'm promoting one area of the city over the other. I think you're smart enough to understand that I'm on my lunch break and I'm just walking areas that are convenient to me. Since I work downtown, people like to see the Riverwalk and the Bean and stuff like that. So what? I know people want to see other areas of the city. We got so many great Chicago live streamers that stream all over the city. Ernie's one of them, Chicago Nuggies. And we got Chicago, U.S. citizen Chicago live streamers being detained by ICE and being thrown on the hood of cars and not treated with respect. U.S. citizens, and if you're insist about U.S. citizens as you should be a citizen. Even non-U.S. citizens should be treated with a certain level of respect and human dignity. If we're going to be the leader of the free world, promote human rights throughout the world, we got to do it ourselves. And what are we losing? The credibility worldwide when we're starting to look like a banana republic here, just throwing in political enemies there, show trials, I mean, how tacky is that? How tacky is that for the... It should be beneath the dignity of the president to get involved in personal vendettas. I'm talking about the Comey thing, you know. But we knew it was going to happen. He campaigned on it, so we shouldn't be surprised by any of this. This is what people voted for. People voted for this banana republic. This is what they wanted. You know, you can bash me, you can bash this city. It's not going to change us. Here's hey, Chicago Riverwalk here. Look at everybody sitting out here on a beautiful 80-degree day here, September the 29th, 2025. What a beautiful day, Chicago Riverwalk. Yeah, the Green River. Yeah, thanks to Ernie for filming the swim, the Chicago River swim. That was last Sunday, and they swam in the river here, and we saw them setting up for it. So these trees are starting to turn yellow. I think they're like locust trees. Got the little leaves there. Yeah, a lot of people smoking the steps there. Yeah, you got these, especially you can stay out of the wind there. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times there'll be performers, street performers on Michigan Avenue. Usually in the evening. Usually I get out of work at 5 o'clock, so we'll stream here on YouTube after 5, and we'll walk up Michigan Avenue. Usually we see a lot of street performers on Michigan Avenue, more in the evenings. But there are some probably now. We might see some. We're heading back to Michigan Avenue right now. Let's see what time I got here. We're about 12:50, 12:49. Hey, Chicago Riverwalk. We made it back here. Goes a large barge. We're underneath Clark Street. Yeah, we'll go by the Tiny Tap here. Hey Michael, how you doing there? Alvin, how you doing? Thanks for saying hello there. Krishna, yeah, Krishna Gupta. Yeah. Yeah, I missed Michael's comment there.
Let them know I'm not a cloud.
Ninny, how you doing there? Ninny? Yeah, Mike. Yeah. Mike, you call me white trash? Yeah, I'm white trash. I've been called white trash my entire life there. I'm like Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt living in Chicago here. Hey, here's Tiny Tap. Tiny Tap here, Chicago Riverwalk. Hey, they got the heat lamps. Yeah. Hey, there's the water taxi. Heading through here. Chicago Riverwalk. Beautiful day here. Hey, how about that Bears win? Bears beat the... I keep wanting to say Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. There's the water taxi. So probably Wednesday we'll try to see if there's a bridge lift. No guarantee if they're going to lift the bridges or not. Depends on if there's any sailboats. But heading into October, Wednesdays, and if I'm ever downtown on Saturdays, that's when they do it. Usually around the noon time. We'll catch it sometime this fall. Pretty many few times there. They're welding the State Street there. They're working on the bridge there. Oh, thanks, Nelios. Thanks for the, yeah. Oh, my Aunt Della really liked downtown Chicago. Yeah, we walked along the Riverwalk Saturday night there. You could see that rerun there. We saw the fireworks. That was the last Saturday fireworks before Labor Day. My Aunt Della was in town. And we went to the Elks Memorial. We went to the zoo. We went to the lake. And she had a good time there. We got some good Chicago-style pizza. Chicago pizza and oven grinder there, and rode back. She really liked the dunes. My Aunt Della really liked the Indiana dunes, and just like me, someone that grew up in Indiana, we would never go to the dunes. We would go somewhere else. It's one of the most scenic spots in the state of Indiana. They're the Indiana dunes, and we got videos of that. We went there around Labor Day, on Labor Day. Here we're by the City Winery here. There's the Pleasure Craft going by the Marina Towers here. We're sitting here by the City Winery, Chicago Riverwalk. We're in between State and Dearborn Street. Still feels like a summer day there. Yeah, grow up, people. people can't handle a real discussion. They freak out, result to like little gotcha statements. We'll just let it fly there. Yeah, thanks Tootsie Roll. Appreciate it there. Yeah, we got a lot of people down here even on a Monday. Here, Chris and I call these the Cracker Jacks box, or we call it the Shriner boats. These are the Shriner boats because they're like the little cars the Shriners drive. These are the little boats you can rent here in the Chicago River. And here's underneath State Street. They're welding. They got a live weld going on here. State Street Bridge. It's been under construction, closed to vehicular car traffic. There they are. It's underneath State Street. Working on the bridge here. We'll go by the Vietnam War Memorial. Yeah, people are too nice. Did I miss the clowns? Yeah, was there clowns? Send in the clowns. So here we'll head over this way. Yeah, I think I saw on the news there was a dog that was rescued from one of these drain pipes. Somehow a dog got in one of the drain pipes on the side of the river there, and they rescued it. So that's good news. But there's the Wrigley Building, Trump Tower. Yeah. My two daughters are having a birthday in November. That's great. Yeah, that'll be a good time. It should be fall. There's the Vietnam War Memorial here. Here's the brew house here. Almost up to the Michigan Avenue. We'll go under Wabash here. Chicago Brew House. Chicago Riverwalk. Oh, I missed. Was there clowns on the bus there? I must have missed that. Sorry, I missed the clowns on the bus there. Look at that. Hiya, papaya. Hey, it's good to be back in Chicago. So yeah, we'll get in a regularly scheduled live streaming broadcast there. We'll hit it at 5 o'clock tonight. Hey, we got beautiful blue skies. I'm sure one of the mornings this week we'll walk along the lakefront and catch the sunrise there. We could have did it this morning, but the lake probably is pretty calm. Seemed pretty wind still. I saw Steve Lyon was by the lake last week, and it was nice surf. I think Ernie filmed that too. It was very more choppy on the lake. We'll have to wait to a larger wave day. Hey Debbie, thanks for coming along there. North Carolina was great. I really liked Wilmington. We went along the Wilmington Riverwalk there. Nice walkable downtown restaurants, and they got that Battleship North Carolina across the way. We did go to the Atlantic Ocean. I didn't get to spend much time there, but it was a beautiful beach area there, nice fishing pier. We got reruns of both of that. But here's O'Brien's here. We'll head right back up to Michigan Avenue here. I got to head back to work here. So hey, at least you know we're back in Chicago. We'll get our regular live streaming schedule. Thanks to my mods here. And I'm glad we ran into Ernie there. We got his... Ernie, I might cut that out and post it if that's okay with you, to let people know what's going on. I should ask. I'll text message you first to see if you're okay. I don't need to post that either. I'll leave it up to you. I think we should. I'll just talk about it. Maybe I won't post it. Maybe I'll just talk about it so people know that was wrong. What happened to you? And we got to let people know how they're treating this. They're rounding up people indiscriminately and harassing people, asking for their. If they do it to Ernie, they should do it to everybody. They should do it to me, and they should do it to the billionaires that walk up Michigan Avenue as they're coming out of their they should slam them against the car and say, show us your papers, they're a billionaire. You know, you got a tax cut there. Is it all worth it? Here's, here we'll head up to the Michigan Avenue Bridge here. Hey, look at that nice view. Yeah, let's go.
Are you?
So hey, there's the Wrigley, the Tribune, and there's the Intercontinental Hotel. This classic vintage skyscraper view here as we head up the stairs here from the Chicago Riverwalk. Here's underneath the lower there, Blues Brothers. But hey, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out. I didn't know if I was going to see armed, militarized people here in mass like Sunday. I haven't seen them today. Ernie saw him on Saturday, and we saw him here on Sunday. So if we run into it, we'll be sure to let people know. And that's why we're here on YouTube. So here we'll head across the street here, Wacker, in Michigan. This is the Fort Dearborn. Yeah, there's the Maria Towers, Trump Tower. There's the London House. Happy Monday there, Lambie. Annette there. Yeah, I know. China's not buying American soybeans, so all the soybeans are getting bought. The Brazil and Argentine soybeans are going to China. I remember, Michael Anderson might remember, in the summertime we had some farmer that was heckling me, you know, pro MAGA against whatever I was spouting on this channel, and I was like, "Did you take the insurance if you're growing soybeans?" And he got really angry when I said that, because I see a lot of soybean fields in Indiana, and the price is not going to be very strong because of the tariffs. And we got one person to thank for that. Here's Clark. Here's Clark here. You see, we got the Cubs are heading into the playoffs there. They'll start on Tuesday. So yeah, be safe, Ernie there. Yeah, our friend Ernie, Chicago Nuggies, was detained by ICE on Saturday. And thanks for telling us your story there. And I need to spread the word here. And U.S. citizens being profiled. We knew what was going on. Now we got proof. And I'll check your message there, Ernie. Thanks for letting us know. Just joining me on Michigan Avenue. I'm about to wrap this up. I'm about to head back to work here. So we'll be back on after 5 o'clock. I'm across the street. I'm not going to go back below. A lot of times we go down below. But we'll just run across the street here since we got the light. And we'll head back to work here. Hey, here's the Carbide Carbon. Hey, we got 18 seconds. So here, look at this great view. You get to the Wrigley Building, the John Hancock, looking up Michigan Avenue. Here we're crossing water and Michigan Avenue. I'm going to head back to work. Thanks to my moderators. Thanks, Ernie, for letting us know what went on there. We'll talk more about it this evening. I got to read his message there. But hey, if you missed any part of this, you can watch the rerun there. We did the bean at the beginning, and then we walked through the loop, and we went through City Hall. We talked to Ernie there right in the middle if you want to see what Ernie said there. And thanks to everybody else here. And we'll see you after 5 o'clock on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, mods. Thanks to Lunch Bunch. Have a good day. Enjoy this weather here. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Taco. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I got to go to work. What a bummer. Thanks, Christopher, Carla. Yeah, Kevin, everybody. Annette, Nelios, Alvin, thanks for tuning in there. Well, it's okay. We'll see y'all. Thanks, Michael Anderson, Taco Jalapeno Salsa, Anita, Naya, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot. Okay, bye.